Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Suvos page 94, which discusses the following dilemma. What do we do if you have two people that come to the courts and show a document saying that they purchased a field from this one person? The problem is we're only dealing with one field. It's the exact same field. So what do we do? So what we do is we will analyze those two documents that they bring to us. If there is a date on both of them, we will say that the one which has a pre-date, one which has the earlier date, that person will be the one who will get it. Because if there was only one field, so obviously when this person sold the field, you can only sell it once, so he sold it to the first person. So again, if there is a document that verifies the actual date of when this takes place, then in that situation, that first person will get. What happens if both of the documents have the exact same date on it? Now, in Jerusalem, in Yerushalayim, because of these potential issues, not only on a Ketubot or on a document did they put the date, but they also put the hour in which it was written, the actual hour. And therefore, again, in Yerushalayim, if you would have these two documents, even though it has the same day and month on it, but if one says 6 o'clock and one says 3 o'clock, so we're going to give it to the one who has the earlier hour on the document. The problem arises everywhere outside of Jerusalem. For whatever reason, they did not write on documents the hour. That much they didn't do. So what do we do in that situation when it's presented to us this dilemma, that it's the exact same date? So on this, there's the dispute. One says you should just split it 50-50 if there's nothing else that we can do. Alternatively, the courts have to somehow evaluate the individual, which is called Shuda de Daini, and figure out which person, if there's a way to figure this out, can we logically think he may have given this property to, who he sold it to. Maybe if it's someone that he was closer with, someone that he has more of a reputation, a relationship with, so maybe that in itself would be proof enough that he probably would have given it to him. The Talmud also discusses what happens if you have, using the Hebrew months of Nisan, but let's say imagine one document says that the field was sold to me in September. And then for another person, it says September 15th. The question is, now what do we do? On one, it says the day and the month. The other person, it just says the month. So on this, we say the person who has the more precise document of September 15th, they will be the one that gets the field. And the other person saying, well, that's not fair. Just because I don't have the day, I should lose out. And the answer is, as we can understand, there's a possibility, even though maybe it was given on September 1st, it could have been given on September 30th. And therefore, it's possible, the fact that it doesn't have the day, that possibly means that you received this document after this other person. And therefore, because of that, the law is, it's dependent on the day, person who has and produces a document, the day and the month. Obviously, we can derive from here that when it comes to contracts and documents, one has to be extremely careful to make sure that it is written properly, which is why a novice, an individual that doesn't really understand all the laws, has to be very, very careful, especially when it comes to transactions of property, things in which are extremely costly, to make sure that the document is being written properly so that such issues will never arise.